Hi, my name is Hasan Anatoga. I'm a practicing physician in the US. I also have a background in powerlifting and fitness. For over 10 years, I have competed in the national powerlifting here in Sri Lanka in 2012.
I was made to move mountains. I was born to be astounding. I was grown with a good heart, the type to dive in the waters deep.
We are here at Body Doc, and I would like to share some tips and some exercises to improve the functionality of the general population, and also increase strength, performance and endurance. So we'll look at some basic compound movements and look at some mobility patterns that will help with day-to-day functionality and strength. So the first exercise or the movement that we're going to talk about is the squat. It's one of the powerlifting movements. It's a very complex movement. It involves quite a lot of mobility of the hips, knees and ankles, also your shoulders. People are concerned about getting injured from the squat or the deadlift, but if this exercise is done with correct movement and technique, injury risk is very minimal. Again, very effective in terms of improving overall strength and functionality. That's why we want to talk about proper technique and talk about the correct movement pattern for this one. So first we will have one of the personal trainers here at Body Doc perform the squat, and then we'll go step by step as to how we can fine tune the movement and what should not be done. So go ahead. First, with the approach to the bar and placement of the bar on the back and unrocking the bar off the shelf. So, this is a high bar squat. So usually the bar goes high on the back as opposed to low on the back for the low bar squat. So he's placing this right around the upper traps. Some people are more comfortable with placing it in the mid or the lower traps, but I'm going to let him be comfortable with where he's placing it. There you go. Okay, and the bar is centered. With the high bar squat, preferred that he has a little bit of a closer grip to keep that upper back tight. He's squeezing his traps, squeezing the upper back musculature, everything is tight, shoulders are pulled back, and now and I would correct his unrocking stance so that both feet are together. So right, okay, that is a much safer position to unrock the bar. As you increase the weight of the squat into the 150 to 200 kilos, you're more stable unrocking the bar with both feet at the same level as opposed to 1 foot out. So now he's ready. His upper back is straight, hips are out. So now he can push off with his hips and knees and unrack the bar. And he will take 1 step, 2 steps, stand. Okay. So again, upper back is straight. Head is positioned straight, and that is another important point, to look straight, looking upwards, without hyperextending your neck. And shoulders are in the plane. You want the shoulders to be in the same plane of the back as opposed to this. Okay. This is going to cause problems as he descends. So the shoulders are tucked in tight, upper back is tight. And now we'll move on to the next step, which is the descent of the bar. Okay. So we are ready to start the descent of the squat. let's look at the feet positioning again. He's just a little bit wider than shoulder width. The feet are slightly turned outwards. That gives him more mobility and the ability to use the adductors to become more explosive and recruit more muscles for hip stability. The other thing I want to point out is to keep the spine neutral. And by that I mean to keep the spine in one plane without flexion and overextending the lower back or hyperextension of the lower back. A lot of people do this and they end up injuring themselves when you are hyperextended. It's better to have a neutral spine, but the other important thing is to improve the mobility of your thoracic spine. So you have to squeeze all these muscles and push back the shoulders, pull down on the shoulders. The cue that you can think about is trying to put your shoulder blades in the back pockets. So everything is tight, making a good solid shoulder shelf, and everything is pulled back. And you have good thoracic spine extension from here, not from here. Okay? So we will. So try to squeeze back. Right, there you go. Okay. Shoulders are good. His hips are tight. His feet position is also perfect, just slightly outward. And before he does the descent, you have to engage the core or the abs. And the way to do that is to take a deep breath with your abs, not the chest. So you take a deep breath and blow out on the stomach. When you have a belt, a weightlifting belt, you can breathe into the belt so that you can keep the core tight. So we will ask him to demonstrate that. Take a deep breath. Okay, and now he's ready for the descent, and we'll look at the bar path from here. So you can start. There you go, he's moving back, and there you go, come up. The next one I want to demonstrate where the bar is in relation to his hips, knees and ankles. So one more time. So now when you look at the bar, it's almost in alignment with his shoulders, knees are just slightly forward, and the weight is right on the midfoot. This is where his weight should be loaded, and we'll go up. Okay, and one more time. That's it, perfect. Okay, and we're going to look at the final part of the squat movement. He's done the descent. He's at the top of the movement, and this is how to safely rack the bar. So you can basically reverse the same movement that you did to unrack the bar. So you take one step, two steps, and just rack it back. Perfect. Alright. And the next clip we will talk about complete recap and talk about the highlights and just go through head to toe tips one more time. One more time we'll look at the squat from start to finish and talk about the pointers and some cues to help you with performing the squat in a safe manner. So again, approach to the bar. Both feet in the same place, and he has kept the bar on a this is a high bar position. Shoulders are squeezed, elbows tight, and I would move the hands a little bit closer. Good. Spine is hyperextended, thoracic spine is hyperextended, and he's looking forward. So he's in good shape, and we're gonna unrack the bar now. Yes, come back. Okay, now he is ready to start the squat. He's in proper position in terms of the foot, which is slightly turned outwards, looking straight. Elbows are tight, shoulders tight, and he's going to start the squat by taking a deep breath and keeping everything tight and pulling the bar down pull the bar down, keep everything tight, look straight, and start with the hips and moving the knees out and going down. Okay, good. He gets good depth, and we'll do a couple more. Again, the important thing about the bar part is that as he's coming downwards, the bar is in alignment with his knees and his midfoot where the weight should be placed. Now, we will grab the bar back. Okay, good. So, next up we will talk about some mobility videos and some alternatives to help you with the squatting movement, because a lot of people don't have the hip mobility or the ankle mobility to do a proper squat. A lot of people you'll see end up doing half squats. They fall over or the backs hunch forward. This is not because they're not strong. They have a lot of issues with their hips being tight, hip flexors being tight, and issues with their ankles. We'll look at a few different squat alternatives which can help you learn the squat, the free weight body squat, to become more functional. Let's look at a movement pattern to help you with the free weight squat. This is called the box squat, and slightly less complex, and this is a great training exercise to help you with the regular squat. So the box squat essentially is squatting down and back like you're sitting onto a chair, but instead we have the box here. So essentially the same pattern, and he is in the same squat stance, just feet slightly turned out. Now he's going to start the same movement again. Knees are going to move out, hips are going to come back, and he's going to sit back. That is what I want to emphasize. Sit back and try to keep that back upright and shoulders back and tight. Okay, let's go. That's it. Heel touch and go. Good. Good. What I want to emphasize again is you can do the squat. At the bottom of the squat, what you have to look at is to make sure that the knees don't excessively move forward over the toes. And that can be an issue to cause knee problems. So his knees are actually just about in line with the front of the toes. So that's good. Good. And one more time. Good. Come up. And once you come up, you finish with the glutes. To basically you have to push forward with the hips, squeeze with the glutes, and that's a complete movement. So you move back, push with the glutes again. So one more time. Okay, and squeeze it, finish it. There you go. This is a much better exercise in engaging and activating the glutes, the hamstrings, all the posterior muscles that help you better balance your body. Usually the glutes and the muscles in the front of the body are the most overpowering muscles, and your hamstrings are less developed and less strong. That is one of the commonest problems for knee problems and hip problems. And by trying to engage the posterior chain and develop the hamstrings and the glutes, you tend to minimize more injuries. We talked about the box squat. The next progression of that movement is something called the barbell squat, where you can actually just go into a preaching position or use a dumbbell and tuck it on your chest, keep the shoulders tight again, and come down with the same movement. Some people tend to go wide, but you can do it with the normal stance also. And again, same thing. Knees out, hips back, go down, and keep the upper back tight. There you go. Perfect. Come up. Right. Good. one more time. Okay, one more time, and when we're finishing, again finish with the glutes. Squeeze the glutes, good. Alright. So these are the progressions. I talked about the box squat, which is the easiest movement. It's basically sitting back onto a chair or a box. The next progression is the goblet squat, and the third progression would be the free weight squat. So once you have become proficient at the box squat and your movement pattern is adequate, then you can move to the goblet squat, and once you have mastered the goblet squat, then you can move to the regular squat. Okay. In the upcoming weeks, we will talk about some mobility videos and some assistance exercises to help you strengthen the muscles involved with the squat, and primarily with hip mobility and ankle mobility.